Your forecast first from the WDHN First Alert Storm Team, brought to you by Sunset Memorial Park.
Things are continuously developing across the Wiregrass. We are now under a tornado watch all the way up until 3 a.m. Starting to see these line of storms continue to strengthen. Again, we're under a tornado watch for this moment, but at the current moment, we're also watching these thunderstorms make its way through. A severe thunderstorm warning for areas making its way into the Florida Panhandle, and we're seeing two lines of storms. The main thing we're watching is how much do these storms strengthen over the next couple of hours, which could determine our impacts for the Wiregrass. Only one warning further down to our south and to our west, making its way into the Florida Panhandle, but we're going to keep you guys updated because not only that we have warnings up there, but confirmed tornadoes still on the ground in Alabama. Now that has expired, but severe thunderstorm warnings all across the state. I have all the details and what you need to know as WDHN News at 10 starts right now.
Tonight, the entire Wiregrass on high alert, a storm system already dropping tornado warnings where we could see strong twisters, lime-sized hail, and strong winds.
Parts of the nation already seeing the severe weather, tornadoes caught on camera, onslaughts of rain and hail reducing homes and businesses to rubble.
But it's not just structures. People lucky to be alive after debris landed on their cars and traffic on the interstate turning into a nightmare.
But it's not just rain and twisters people are worried about. The strong winds being blamed for devastating fires, acres of land destroyed, and homes turning to ash. Our special edition of WDHN News starts now.
Live for the Wiregrass, this is WDHN News this weekend at 10.
A monster storm moving in the south, tornadoes captured on camera, bringing damaging winds, thunderstorms, and floods that are destroying homes, knocking out power, and taking lives.
That same system moving in on the Wiregrass. Here's a live look at the conditions on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan, where a tornado watch is now in effect. Good evening and welcome to a special edition of WDHN News at 10 this weekend. I'm Jessica Gauthier.
And I'm Michael Rinker. Tonight, most of the Wiregrass now under that tornado watch after being under a level 4 risk of severe weather. That's the first time we've seen that in over a decade.
Tonight, our area could be hit with heavy rain, lime-sized hail, and possibly long-track tornadoes. WDHN Chief Meteorologist Jordan Ambrose is in the First Alert Storm Center tracking the latest on this incoming weather threat. Jordan?
Yes, what we're watching is the possibility of a line that is to our west, currently intensifying. And if that does happen, we do have the possibility to see potentially significant impacts across the Wiregrass. Here's what we're watching here on Links 2. One thing I'm noticing is we're starting to see some at least discrete cells developing further out to our west. And that's the main thing that I do want to watch out for. If you take a look near Mobile, we're watching this storm over here, over in this environment near Bay Minette, and as it makes its way closer into the Florida Panhandle. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, but one thing that I do want to watch is you see how this is discrete. This is what we call a supercell. And the main thing I'm watching is, since it's near Mobile, it's continuing to move this way. And as that moves this way, that gets closer and closer to the Wiregrass. Depending on how this cell develops, this does have the potential to maybe even drop a tornado. So we're watching cells like this that begin to become more discrete in nature and begin to mature over a period of time as they move to the east for potential development. If that does happen, we do have the potential to see maybe these more severe thunderstorm warnings that could drop maybe 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds, or maybe even the possibility of a tornado. And again, we have to mention that some of these tornadoes could be strong, maybe even EF2 or higher. Something that we don't want, but again, just watching this particular cell near Mobile, and also a line of storms closer to Covington County, and these line of storms making its way across I-65. And we're going to switch over to Links 1. I'm going to show you just a bigger outlook of what's going on, a bigger synopsis. So you see this large area of low pressure and this cold front. It continues to move to the east, and as it continues to move through, we're going to see more watches and warnings pop up. The bad thing is we've seen multiple confirmed tornadoes on the ground, and a lot of these tornadoes, even though they weren't necessarily numerous, we've seen a lot of numerous tornadoes, but even the ones that have stuck around, they have stayed on the ground for a long time. Now we're watching areas along I-65 or just to the west of I-65 to see how these develop over time, because these could bring the possibility of maybe even stronger winds and maybe the possibility of a damaging tornado. Not necessarily a guarantee, but one thing that I do want to reiterate is that all of our areas still under a level 4 risk of severe weather. This extends from areas near Mobile all the way through areas near LaGrange, Georgia, and just to the west of Atlanta. This is where we have the possibility to see those 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds and the possibility of a damaged tornado. So it's very, very important. If you are in the Wiregrass right now and you are still in your mobile home, find somewhere to be right now, because once we get over the next hour and a half to 2 hours, this will be in our area. This is around 10. This is verifying actually fairly well. You see that confluence band. You see some of these cells further up to the north, but it looks like they will continue to strengthen. And one thing that I am worried about is that we're seeing maybe some discrete cells begin to develop. And if that does happen, that brings the possibility of seeing supercells across the wiregrass, and that is not a great thing. And this lasts until 3 a.m. And if we get something like this across the areas of Houston County, that would have the potential to become a tornado, or at least bring large hail to the region. Now, this is one scenario. Now, there is another scenario where we see maybe a stronger line of storms. Now, this is not verifying quite as much, but if we see these two lines maybe come together, maybe a stronger line of storms, this would be more of a straight line wind threat, but we could see still tornadoes along the line, and it looks like it kind of weakens for a minute, but then reinvigorates once again. So it's a really tricky forecast. So what we're doing is we're now casting. We're watching what's going on right now so we can keep you guys updated for the future. And what we're seeing right now is somewhat of a break in storms, but now we're seeing some of these individual cells begin to rotate, and this is why we do have to watch for the higher confidence of maybe destructive wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. Still can't be ruled out. One thing that I do want to mention is that several tornadoes or some long track could happen. But one thing that I do want to reiterate, and this is coming from the National Weather Service, is that some of these tornadoes could be very strong, and they have mentioned violent. So even if you don't necessarily see a tornado today, that will be absolutely great. But if we do get a tornado warning, the environment is conducive for very strong, violent, life-threatening tornadoes. Like I said, we hope that doesn't happen, but that is a possibility. Hail up to the size of limes and localized flooding as well. Now, know your safe place. Remember, if you live in a mobile home or manufactured housing, should not be in there right now. Stay somewhere over the night. After everything is over, go back to your place. But then have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings. Do not keep your phone on do not disturb. Keep your phone on do not disturb. You do not get those proper warnings. Wear protective gear, especially if you're under a warning. What you need to do is make sure you have a helmet or put a mattress over your head, anything to protect vital organs or your head. Have a way to have alerts for first responders, so bring your phone with you and take pictures of belongings, and make sure if you are under a tornado warning, make sure you wear shoes just in case if a tornado goes through. You never want to step out of your safe place and you step on glass, so make sure you wear some closed-toed shoes. Also, download the WDHN app. Have your hour-by-hour forecast, severe weather alerts, and also your interactive radar to stay updated through the night. Now, for your tornado shelter options, remember, basements or storm cellars. I know basements aren't common, especially in southeast Alabama, but also the most interior room, well-built structures at the lowest level, FEMA certified safe rooms, above ground storm shelters, mobile homes, avoid that, vehicles underneath highway and overpasses, and also avoid large open rooms. So anything further down over here, like I said, mobile homes, vehicles underneath highways and overpasses, and large open rooms, you need to avoid all of that. Severe weather, safety for your pets. Confine pets into one room in the house. Have leashes and carriers. Stock up on food, water, and prescriptions. Provide toys to keep them relaxed. And keep pictures and tags as well, if contact info, just in case if something does happen, your dog runs off, they can safely return it. So we want you guys to stay safe and stay weather aware. Things will eventually die down once we get towards your early morning hours, but the next, I would say, 1 to 4 to 5 hours are very, very crucial to see how these storms develop and how this will affect the wiregrass. Eventually, we're going to clear out for your Monday and Tuesday. Much cooler weather is ahead, but the main thing is I want you guys to stay safe and stay weather aware, not only through your daytime, but through your nighttime hours as well.
Thanks, Jordan. And Wiregrass agencies are on high alert tonight, bracing for the impact that this storm system could bring to the area.
At least 3 counties are meeting up at a central communications station where they'll be watching this storm, and they'll send their crews to the areas of need. WDHN's Aaron Dixon joins us live from Webb with more on those preparations. Aaron.
Jessica, Michael, I'm here in Houston County, where the winds have definitely picked up throughout the day and now into the night. And while these winds are kind of bracing and the storm system is on its way here, emergency agencies across the Wiregrass are bracing for the worst. And already the storm system is sending these strong wind gusts to the area, which could be seen in areas like Dothan this evening, with flags fluttering in the air and flags and balloons going crazy at a local car dealership. Earlier this afternoon, downtown at the Reeve Street intersection in Dothan, traffic lights were swaying back and forth and the street sign was spinning in a circle. Then just less than a mile down the road, flags were seen fluttering after being hit by strong wind gusts. As far as county EMAs go, Houston, Henry, and Coffee counties opened up emergency operations centers in their counties to bring in extra or partial staffers to be together while they watch the incoming threat. From there, they will be communicating with their staff and emergency crews to let them know when it is safe to respond and what their plan of action needs to be, like they have done in previous severe weather events. All counties say they are also making sure extra patrols of law enforcement are on the road and are making sure equipment is fueled and staged in its designated locations so it is ready to go when the time arises. Other counties in the area say they aren't doing emergency operations centers, but that they have their eyes on the storm and are staging necessary equipment where it needs to be and have all communication with all their emergency crews. And other groups that are already ready to go are power crews. Alabama Power tells me they have extra power crews staged across the state and have added over 3,000 storm resources such as crews and storm teams from 12 different states. Then if power outages occur, they have an all hands on deck approach to try and restore all outages as quickly and safely as possible. With the other groups like Wiregrass Electric, Dothan Utilities, and P River, they say they also have crews ready to help when the time arises, and some have even brought in extra crews while the others are on standby for when the storm passes. P River tells me that they even have crews working now to help with any outages caused by the severe winds that have already kind of impacted the area. Now, one thing the power crews did tell me was that they were not going to respond to an area if a tornado is currently going through it. So they're going to wait until that tornado passes through the area because they're trying to knock out these power outages efficiently, but also safely. We're live in Houston County tonight. Aaron Dixon, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.
Thanks, Aaron. In parts of the Wiregrass opening up shelters for those in need. In Geneva County, the Shiloh Baptist Church has a limited capacity. It's first come, first serve. They're located at 873 North Shiloh Road in Hartford, and they are now open. Andalusia is opening up the junior high school at 701 3rd Street. They are now open as well. They ask that you bring bedding and any personal items that you may need. And in Houston County, the Westgate Church of Christ on Westgate Parkway is open. So is the First Baptist Church on Dothan's West Main Street and the Madrid Town Hall on Decatur Road. There is also Southside Baptist Church at 423 East Cottonwood Road. They are now open and will be into the morning. The same case for Mount Enon Baptist Church at 3167 Iris Road and Memphis Baptist Church on 4596 Edens Road. And over in Daleville, the Daleville Cultural Arts Center at 750 South Daleville Avenue is open and will be through the morning. And now these are just some of the many shelter locations open in the Wiregrass, and you can see the full list of them on our website, WDHN.com.
In the West, weather is postponing a popular race that was supposed to happen tonight in the Wiregrass. The Rattler 250 was scheduled for 6 p.m. It's now been delayed until tomorrow because of the storms. The races will start at 1 p.m.
And already parts of the state seeing damage from the storm. Near Birmingham and the Sipsey community, several people are in the hospital after the system swept through. People on the scene saying they saw a tornado tear through, and now multiple crews are there trying to clean up all the debris that was thrown around by the twister.
In a reported tornado in Pickens County near Birmingham, cutting through trees right here, left behind a trail of damage and impacted local structures as well. As you see, this building completely destroyed. Crews are already on the scene trying to break up debris so that they can clear it from the area.
The Huntsville area seeing weather damage as well. Nearby in Harvest, a town is seeing flooding from the rain pouring down there. Here in this footage from native Andrew Knowles, you can see all that water there, and this weather also possibly blamed for a flipped car in the area. This happened in a crash, but it's not confirmed if it was because of poor road conditions, and the driver's condition is unknown. And not far from there, a woman is in the hospital after being struck by lightning. The Franklin County EMA confirmed that a 26-year-old woman was hit during today's storms. She is now in the Helen Keller Hospital, and no word on her condition either.
And across country tonight, at least 32 people have died in the cross-country storm that's bringing widespread damage, winds and tornadoes. More than 30 already reported across 6 states.
Mississippi, Louisiana, Missouri, and here in Alabama are expected to be hit the hardest. And in Oklahoma, powerful winds help fuel wildfires that have scorched more than 170,000 acres in these dry conditions. Johnny Fernandez has the latest.
Parts of the Deep South dealing with violent long-track tornadoes as a powerful storm system makes its way through the country. Particularly dangerous situation, tornado watches and warnings issued for much of Mississippi and Alabama, as well as parts of eastern Louisiana. In Mississippi, a tornado emergency declared just west of Hattiesburg. Dramatic video captures the moments a tornado hit Tylertown. In Missouri, the skies in St. Louis lit up by multiple lightning strikes. West of the city, this truck driver pulled over to wait for the storm to pass when a twister touched down.
Everything went black. I turned on my headlights and my brights, and right after I did that, something hit the side of the truck, just flipped it over and blew up.
ABC's Matt Rivers is in Villa Ridge, Missouri.
Some of the buildings hit just a total loss. The windows in that Burger King, they're blown out, and look at what's left of this convenience store. The roof entirely torn off, shattered glass everywhere, and this just a sample of some of the destruction we've seen.
About an hour away, this tornado captured on video at a gas station in Rolla. This row of businesses there ripped apart. This tractor trailer knocked on its side. In Louisiana, trees brought down and at least 30 homes were damaged after a tornado swept through the town of East Fork. In Arkansas, a tornado survey team has found damage in Cave City consistent with winds of 165 miles per hour. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, wildfires have burned more than 170,000 acres and destroyed nearly 300 structures. About 20 miles west of Tulsa, in Manford, smoke billowing in the sky, the flames being fueled by powerful winds. The mayor says at least 24 homes were lost there. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
And now let's take a look at some other damage across the country. Tornadoes slamming the state of Mississippi. 6 people are dead. And there are missing people, 3 missing people, 29 others are injured. The Elliott community is in pieces. The town near Jackson hit by severe weather this morning. Homes were destroyed and the contents inside scattered throughout the area. Several trees were snapped like twigs, and the remaining trees are now standing, but they hold various areas. Officials say that at least 3 people are in the hospital. And video from Tylertown, Mississippi shows the extensive damage after a massive tornado struck the area. 3 people died in the Walthall County home of Tylertown. A couple recorded this video driving around to see if anyone was needing help. You could see the trees that were snapped, level buildings, and overturned vehicles.
And more cleanup underway in Mississippi. This video coming from the Mississippi Delta area after tornadoes moved through. The storm leaving behind a path of overturned trees, roof damage, power outages, and flooding.
And a tornado was caught on camera in Louisiana. The twister moving through the Kentwood area near the Mississippi state line. It destroyed homes, scattered their pieces across the area. Northern Louisiana saw widespread destruction with several homes destroyed and damaged. In addition to widespread outages, downed trees have caused huge problems as well.
And here's a look at another tornado, this one touching down in Villa Ridge, Missouri, not far from St. Louis. People at the scene reporting significant damage caused by the twister, but information on that exact damage is limited at this moment. And across the nation, at least 32 deaths have been reported.
And in the same state, a man is in a Kansas City hospital after a tree was knocked over onto his car. Police say the man was the only person in the vehicle when the tree split it nearly in half. Weather officials report that the winds in that area got up to 70 miles per hour. Back here in the Wiregrass, here's another look at the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Our first alert storm team is going to be here throughout the night through the morning with live coverage on air and on WDHN.com as long as this threat remains.